So once you've done your sequence, done your method, the easiest way to look at your data is to click on the actual class folder, go to your name, and then find the data file. And if you double click on a data file, then it's going to open a piece of the software called Qual Browser. And it should look like this. Here you have your chromatogram, of course, with the time on the x-axis and the intensity, signal intensity on the y-axis. It's clearly zoomed all the way out. You can see there's the methanol solvent peak there at 1.09, so this view is not particularly useful. Now if you open this thing up and there are two windows, one on top and one on the bottom, that's okay. You use that sometimes for GCMS or LCMS or something like that. You can press the kind of it looks like two crossed blue arrows, and that'll blow up the top window. The important thing is, in the top of the chromatogram window, there's kind of that green thumbtack looking icon. Make sure that the window you're interested in, that thumbtack is highlighted green. If that's the case, then you're ready to manipulate the data. You can zoom in and you can zoom out and you can change things in the data. And you really need to zoom in here and mess with things because this is a blank. And there's nothing in there, which is good, but you have to show that, and you have to get beyond just showing this zoomed out view with the methanol peak. So I mentioned this is a blank, and what's not common is you're going to want to compare this to standard, so you can right click and select range, and below this channel 1 you can click the other box, go down here to this raw file. What I'm doing here is I'm going to navigate to my other file. I'm going to go to my folder and pull up the CBD standard that goes with my CBD blank here. Click OK, and now I have them on top of each other. And however I manipulate the one, I manipulate the other. You can see I have an 8.02 peak here, but I really want to highlight that, so I'm going to zoom in. And now the zoom for my blank and the zoom for my sample is going to be the same, and I'm going to get a good-looking chromatogram. And my blank and my standard, my sample, are on the same scale each time. So this is really nice. So what I'm illustrating here is that I have this peak at 8.02 in the standard. I'm on the same scale. I have an intensity of 1.3 times 10 to the 8th. That's what the NL means, 1.3 times 10 to the 8th here. And there is nothing in my blank, and there is plenty of signal in my CBD standard. Okay. Now if you're quantitating, you can toggle this peak detection. So I right-click there and said peak detection, toggle in all plots. And then you can go to labels, right-click, add area and height, and this is how you would quantitate. The AA is the area, and the AH is the height, so it automatically measures the peak for you, and you can use either area or height to, you can use those numbers to make that calibration plot if you're calibrating. Sometimes it does a pretty good job of picking peaks. If you're confident that you think you can pick the peak better, you can manipulate it like I did there by dragging down those boxes. It's generally not a good idea to do that. It's usually going to pick the peak better than you would and give you more reproducible data if you let it go and pick the peak itself.